World War II had transformed the College of New Rochelle well before the United States entered the conflict. Global hostilities and concomitant wartime preparations being made in the United States caused no little stir, and the anxious and well-informed student body of CNR became engaged in energetic activities and discussions over what the nation should do about the looming totalitarian threats in Europe and Asia. The Selective Training and Service Act, also known as the Burke-Wadsworth Act of 1940, had students openly debating the draft. A junior, Lucy Jane Riley, agreed with the Conscription Act, arguing that a country should be prepared, especially in times like these, but I feel that it is something that should have been started a few years ago when war threatened in Europe, thus not causing such a radical change in everyone's lives as it will now. My idea would be to include it in the high school curriculum, making the entire course a 5-year one instead of 4. It seems too difficult for boys who are earnestly trying to establish themselves financially in the world to have to sacrifice a year of their business careers. Sophomore Estelle Sullivan argued, "If we don't have conscription of some sort, we won't be prepared." I pity the poor boys that have to go. However, we should help England by sending materials and other aid short of war, or else be caught in the web ourselves. Conscription is one of our first moves, but I think we should send planes to England as well, because they are fighting for democracy, and if they lose, we will eventually have to cope with the dictators alone. Another sophomore, Mary Hafey, held that conscription may be acceptable in these times, but since this nation was created free, and since we have been used to such freedom, the obligatory change to military life will have a terrific effect on all the people, in fact on every family in the United States. Moreover, Hafey pointed to the effect the Great Depression was still having on the country, and believed that the unemployed who benefited from New Deal programs such as the Works Progress Administration should be left out of the draft. This country should be prepared for war, I grant that, but we do have reserves such as the National Guard as well as the Army, Navy, and Marines. And why not give the men on the WPA something worthwhile to do? By 1940, German, Italian, and Japanese militarism had taken on global proportions. Like many other Catholic institutions, the student body of CNR was torn between the messages of peaceful neutrality emanating from Rome and the increasing alarm over the international belligerence growing in the United States. Many students in CNR, ambivalent over what role their country should play, formed into peace groups to aid the British children orphaned by the Nazi bombing campaign which had begun in July. By 1941, though the United States had still not declared war, the nation was already running on a wartime basis. The draft had been instituted and factories were working at top speed to produce war materials. As women were called upon to prepare the country for conflict, CNR students looked differently upon their place in society. A student writing for the student newspaper, The Tattler, opined that, "Since today is today, and women are as free and unfeminine as they will probably ever be, they are not content to sit at home and pine over the world situation. Gone are the days when the women sat at home and knitted socks for their men in war times. Gone are the days when they spent every available moment making packages to send to our boys, or in wrapping bandages in a small Red Cross station. No, these women are all gone. It is 1941 now, and in their place we have the Women Flyers of America." Women Flyers of America was a national flying club, open to any female interested in aviation. This organization formed in July 1940, and its members paid a $5 membership fee and had established local chapters in the major cities across America. CNR students, like Betty Tracy, eagerly threw themselves into aviation lessons. From 1939 to 1941, more and more women became crucial transport pilots, hauling supplies and cargo short distances throughout the nation and as military supply pilots around the world. In December, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, and when war was declared in 1941, many students, administrators, faculty, and staff left the school to work for the war effort.
1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
At the present time, it is of paramount importance that the women and girls of our country be given training so that they may do their share in the war emergency.
However, because it was a women's college, CNR enrollment during the war years did not suffer a decline in student enrollment. In fact, it increased. Though some students went to work for the aircraft industry, students, including many from around the world, were enrolling in record numbers. In keeping with other colleges and universities around the country, CNR instituted accelerated programs during World War II to speed up graduation for students wanting to aid the war effort. The accelerated programs involved intensive coursework over the summers. If the college's normal academic schedule was disrupted by the war, the academic programs, lectures, concerts, and extracurricular events were replaced by war-related curriculum and events that contributed to the cause. If the college's normal academic schedule was disrupted by the war, the academic programs, lectures, concerts, and extracurricular events were replaced by war-related curriculum and events that contributed to the cause. Students hosted blackout parties, where they sewed black tapestries together to cover their windows during practice air raid drills. If the college's normal academic schedule was disrupted by the war, the academic programs, lectures, concerts, and extracurricular events were replaced by war-related curriculum and events that contributed to the cause. Our students organized bucket brigades and practiced moving heavy buckets of water from hand to hand in mock fire drills. A host of new war courses were offered in new fields such as first aid, home nursing, motor mechanics, and even pre-flight training, but were offered on a non-credit basis as a way to help the war effort.
Lend Uncle Sam a dime to win this war, and he'll pay you back with interest when he's won it. The easiest, most convenient way to lend him these dimes is to enroll in the payroll savings plan. Just tell your boss to deduct 10 cents from every dollar he pays you and lend it to Uncle Sam in your name. Sign up for this simple savings plan today, and when victory comes, you'll have war bonds in your pockets instead of Axis bonds on your wrist.
As the global conflict grew, the United States began to issue war bonds as a means of raising funds for sustaining the war. Subsequently, between 1943 and 1944, students raised $40,000 in the sale of war bonds, of which $15,000 purchased a PT-19 Fairchild training plan, and $25,000 purchased 2 ambulances. As the war came to a close, however, the levels of wartime support diminished, with the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
In a series of record incendiary raids. What has already happened to Tokyo will happen to every Japanese city whose industries feed the Japanese war machine. If the Japanese insist on continuing resistance beyond the point of reason, their country will suffer the same destruction as Germany. Our blows will destroy their whole modern industrial plant and organization, which they have built up during the past century, and which they are now devoting to a hopeless cause.
Unprecedented destructiveness had exploded. 3 days later, a second atom bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Atomic energy had made air power all important. Dread with...
On August 10th, Francis Walsh, the president of the College of New Rochelle, sent a letter to Harry Truman, pleading with him not to drop any more weapons of mass destruction. Mr. President, I respectfully request that you give immediate orders that no Japanese city be devastated by the atomic bomb unless the city is so thoroughly industrialized as to constitute, as a whole, a military objective, and then only after adequate warning and after sufficient time has been allowed to remove the civilian population.